Hiya crafters, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I'm going to emboss and stencil a thank you card. Now I have this Lisa Horton 3D embossing folder and the coordinating layered stencils. Now I got the embossing folder first, but then I was able to get the stencil, and here is the card. This turned out so beautifully. I don't typically have a lot of embossing folders with the coordinating stencils, but I do have a couple, and I was excited to add this one into my crafty stash. So I did spritz a piece of cardstock with water. This is 120-pound accent opaque, and I'm going to put this down on my makeshift workstation, and then I'm just going to start using the different layered stencils to add different colors. So the benefit of using these coordinating stencils with embossing folders is you get that cool benefit of the texture from the embossing, and then you can also isolate the different colors within the design with these layered stencils. So I feel like these are kind of a relatively new concept. I feel like they haven't been around too long from what I've seen anyway. I do have, I think, maybe one other set from Altenew like this, maybe with one of my 3D Altenew embossing folders, but this is my first with the Lisa Horton. I'm pretty new to Lisa Horton in general. I have been collecting her metallic inks lately, like the Cloud 9 metallic inks, as well as some of the Interference, but I've also really been enjoying her 3D embossing folders. So when I had the opportunity to get these coordinating stencils to an embossing folder that I already had, I kind of jumped at it, and I'm so glad I did because this turned out so beautifully. So as you can see, it's very easy to line up. You just kind of shimmy the raised portions of the embossing within kind of the stenciled area. So you could probably go the other way around if you wanted to stencil first, but I think it might be a little bit harder to line up the embossing. So I would probably emboss it first and then do the stenciling. Now this fourth layer, I was on the fence about. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add that detail, so I went a little bit lighter handed because I wasn't sure I was going to like it. So I'm glad I did, but that's an optional step, obviously. So what I did here, I did run it through my die cutting machine and I mushed it down. So what I would recommend here, if you're going to die cut and emboss, die cut your panel first, then emboss, then stencil. So typically when I do this, it's relatively easy to kind of line the embossed panel back up within the embossing folder, but it wasn't super easy in this case. So this particular stencil, it was a little hard. So I wouldn't do it in that order. So again, if you have a panel and you're going to die and emboss, die cut first, then emboss, then stencil. See here you can see, typically you can kind of just nestle it back in place and find it, but it really wasn't easy in this case because it wasn't, I don't know if it wasn't dramatic enough to kind of like lock it back into place. So I struggled a little bit, but I finally got it. I was able to run it through again to kind of bring that drama back onto the panel. So I have the different colors. I have that embossing texture. It was great, and I have the die cut edge. So just learn from my mistakes and go in the right order and you'll be good to go. Now you could also use these stencils on their own without the embossing and still get that cool design. So if you want just the stencils, that is an option, or if you want both, then you can combine the embossing folder and the stencils. Now I'm shopping my sentiment book here to figure out, I don't really have a plan, but I did realize that I did want to make this as a thank you card for one of my daughter's teachers. She is finishing her first year in high school, and you know, some teachers are just special, and I wanted to give her that special thank you at the end of the year for kind of going above and beyond and just being a great teacher. So that's what I did end up doing. I ended up getting a sentiment from Simon Says Stamp. If it's still available, I'll link it below. It was one of those really cool where it's like one stamp and one die, and it cuts out a bunch of the stamps all at once. And I'm finishing it with my custom stamp from Jessica Lynn Originals. I will link her below. I had her make that custom background or back of the card stamp for me. I definitely recommend her. She's a small woman-owned business in the States, and that's where this bling is from as well. A Colorful Life Designs is another small woman-owned business in the States. That's from A Colorful Life Designs, and Mary Kay runs that whole shop on her own. So if you want to support these women-owned businesses, then definitely check out my links in the video description box below. But I'm just picking out what bling I want to use. I did go with the opalescent Maui, and I do have a coupon AmyFan10 if you shop at A Colorful Life Designs, so be sure to use that at checkout, and here's the finished card. So thank you so much for spending time with me. If you enjoyed it, please hit the thumbs up, and I will catch you next time. Bye.